Well, well, well. What have we got here? Universal, The Mummies 4. Let's see what we're getting into here.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. They have finally done it. They finally decided to bring everyone back. Universal is doing another Mummy sequel movie, basically The Mummy 4, bringing back the original main cast. Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are the first ones they just announced. I think that everyone who remembers the first two movies has been asking what happened to the franchise since that second one. They tried to make a third movie, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, without Rachel Weisz, but the whole series fell apart as a result, and you saw what happened after that. Funny you should ask, because they also revealed that they would be pretending like that third movie never existed with good cause. There is no Tomb of the Dragon Emperor movie in Ba Sing Se. Always love to see it when a giant movie studio very publicly tries to disown something that they made a long time ago. Universal's latest attempt at the series,
Yeah,
being Tom Cruise's Mummy from 2017, that was meant to be part of the Marvelization of the Universal Monsters brand, just in general. They called that the Dark Universe. We can laugh about that later in the video. It was funny for all kinds of very bad reasons.
yeah.
If you think that Marvel has had problems having to cancel movies in the MCU in the last couple of years, the Dark Universe was way, way worse attempt at doing something like that. This wasn't even that long ago. Me, like a lot of other fans like you guys, were also just wondering why they didn't just try to bring the original cast back at the time. While I was actually trying to find more information about this new Brendan Fraser Mummy 4 movie, I actually discovered that Universal just finished filming a newer version of a Mummy movie that was meant to be another reboot. It sounds like it tested so badly that Universal's going to change the title of that movie to something else so people don't think that it was supposed to be a Mummy movie and doesn't ruin the brand even more than it already has been. Serves them right, they try to get rid of Brendan Fraser and Rachel
Yeah,
Weisz, and everything just goes downhill ever since then. So I'll explain what's going on with
literally.
this new Lega sequel. I think that's the technical term for what they're doing. Unrebooting, like debooting, making a sequel to an earlier line of continuity by pretending like all the newer versions don't exist and some of the later material in their own timeline. Even though that sounds kind of funny, Hollywood has actually been doing this a lot lately.
Yeah.
Whatever they wind up doing, I'm sure will be loads better than Tomb of the Dragon Emperor in the Tom Cruise version. Like, there is a low bar to clear for this. It won't be that hard for them to top those. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. So far, they have not said who the new villain of this fourth movie is going to be, but it sounds like they already have a story. The announcement says that Radio Silence is directing. Their team of two guys, Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who just did Ready or Not, a 2019 horror movie. They're generally known for doing more horror films, like they did Scream 4 and Scream 6. They have not revealed any major story details, but even though they're ignoring the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor movie, I don't think they're going to call this The Mummy 3 or The Mummy 4. They'll just give it some different subheading, like they'll do away with the number in the title.
Peru, here I come.
You'll remember that Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz's movies had a very particular tone. Theirs were very comedic with some horror, like there was a lot of levity in those films, but that first Mummy movie had the most straight horror vibe on it with just a little bit of comedy. And then by the time they got to the second movie, it got a little more comedic, and then it got way over the top by the time they got to Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. So I think the idea is that in bringing on more straight horror directors, they're going more back to the tone of that first Mummy movie, with some levity, but not crazy over-the-top wall-to-wall jokes. This official announcement doesn't say which other classic characters they're bringing back from the original series, but all the actors, like the mains that you would want to bring back, are all still alive, doing very well, and have very solid careers, so it'd be very easy to also bring them back and just slot them in. When the news dropped, there were all kinds of jokes about them bringing The Rock back as a giant CG scorpion just for laughs, even though special effects have gotten vastly better since his version of the
Yeah.
Scorpion King. This was actually The Rock's first big Hollywood role. He's actually spoken about it personally, about how happy he was to be part of the movie. It was literally his big break before he started then making what you would call the standard fare type of Rock movies. They already have a writer who chimed in on Twitter to hype up the news, so it's a real thing. This is just smoke and mirrors meant to drive hype. Brendan Fraser famously has been on a tear the last few years, rebooting his own career, winning an
Yeah.
Oscar for The Whale in 2022. He also just did the Doom Patrol series as Robot. He's been making a ton of other indie movies since.
He I heard a story about him that they tried to get rid of him. They tried to drain him or something like that. No, on those along those lines. But after the Mummy, I think The Rock was taught between. I know The Rock was saying something as well. I can't remember exactly. I don't want to mess anything up, but I know that they tried to do him wrong, like regarding after the Mummies or in between that movie. The same thing they did to David Chappelle. They tried to do to him. And this is the same thing that keeps on going on and on and on. If you haven't noticed in movies, same thing with Witcher, where you got these people that are into movies themselves. From what I gather, most of the movies that are hits are the actors are the ones that have a bit of control as well and make the character come to life, and they need flexibility to perform. And some directors are so ego driven, they want to make the movie about themselves rather than telling the story. And I felt like actors like him told that story and acted well alongside a woman as well. And the fact that they think that they can get rid of two main characters like that and then replace them, they're crazy. The same thing they do with Witcher, so on and so forth with other movies and TV shows as well. You can't do that with the Witcher. The guy that plays the Witcher, he was basically saying this don't make sense, speaking up like and saying this don't make sense. Isn't I know he's a fan of the whatever the show, The Witcher, sorry, the games and stuff and so on and so forth. And he's speaking up, telling the director, does that make sense? And the director's like, just do it. Like, no, that makes a good actor. I'm sorry. There's one of the elements that make a good actor as well. That love doing acting and performing on TV screens is that when they get a part, they embody the part and make sure they, how can I say, they know it inside and out. And I feel like when I know sometimes you need a director to direct, but I mean like if things keep popping up on and on, like the Witcher guy did, Superman, the original, the best Superman if you ask me, and people like this guy that does the Mummies movies, he's known for it. Like he made it what it was. How are you gonna get rid of someone of that caliber? Like I understand if he's being a complete dickhead, but still, like from what I know, he wasn't. Like you guys were being the dickheads and not listening. You need to listen a bit more, just a bit more. And I feel like this is a common thing amongst this work stuff. I think when you're working with people that are above you, sometimes it takes a certain type of director to humble themselves and be like, no, we're not above you, we're here. So we can make the movie what it is. If you get me, we have to be here. You can't meet. I can't be here, and you can't be here. We have to be here. And I feel like Marvel, what they have recently with what they're going with their direction, so far from what I've heard, they're doing this thing. They're not being here. They're like, I want what the fans want, kind of thing. Because if the fans are if the bums are in the seats, that's when tickets sell. If the movies are good and attract a certain audience, which we're the audience, then it will sell, it will do well, everyone will be much better, happy ever after, if you want to call it. But just the way stuff's going here is just...
It's coming back to Hollywood, basically reminding everybody that he's an amazing actor. Like, oh yeah, that's right, he is awesome. Where did he go? How come he left Hollywood for so long? You can also tell in some of his more recent movies that he's starting to get back into shape slowly too. Back in 2022, when he started blowing up again, like when he came back to Hollywood, people were asking him about returning to the Mummy movies. At the time, he said that he wanted to, but at that time, because he hadn't started winning all these awards yet, Universal hadn't committed to bringing him back, and they hadn't figured out what they were doing with the Mummy franchise just in general, and they weren't committed to bringing Rachel Weisz back either. I think the idea is that they wanted to bring Brendan Fraser back, and then they went to Rachel Weisz. Like, he's the reason why she is also coming back. Also, they probably have a slightly different regime at Universal right now that just likes their Mummy movies way more. Like, oh, the franchise worked way better when they were on it, and things went to crap when they left. Why don't we just bring back what was working?
Exactly.
Marvel literally just did this with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, bringing him back in Deadpool and Wolverine. Also, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, about the same age as Hugh Jackman during Deadpool and Wolverine. Welcome back to the Mummy movies.
You're joining at a bit of a low point.
If you don't remember what happened to Rachel Weisz, the reason why she left the franchise after the second movie is because of a dispute with Universal. She said that the script was crap, which is 100% accurate, like she don't miss. Universal was also going to be filming the movie right as she had given birth to her son and she needed to recover. They did not care. They were going to shoot no matter what and recast her character of Evie with Maria Bello, who said that her version of Evie was going to be very different from Rachel Weisz's version, and she was not wrong. We were definitely the worst for it. Why didn't you just wait a little while and let Rachel Weisz come back, fix the script, and let her come back? Sounds like they finally got the message. After the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, Maria Bello claimed that she had signed on for a fourth sequel and they would just continue those movies with those characters. But after the movie did not perform well, they opted to reboot with the Dark Universe Tom Cruise Marvel plan in the 2010s, like MCU, the Universal Monsters, and all the other Universal Monster characters. This is actually where we get to the great disaster. Like, this is way bigger than anything bad that happened to Marvel in the last couple of years. Universal announced their Avengers-style team-up universe at the end of that first new Mummy movie. Then they announced a whole slate of movies of Phase 1 MCU style, if you will. You remember that meme from The Boys Season 4 with like Vought, Phase 6, Phase 7, Phase 8, Phase 9? This is how far that went. Obviously, their plans crashed and burned. It died before they ever began. But originally, this is what it would have been. So remember, these are all characters from the Universal Monsters brand that would have teamed up in an Avengers-style crossover movie at some point, each with solo movies of their own. It would have been Javier Bardem as Frankenstein's monster. That movie never wound up getting made. The Rock as the Wolfman. That movie also never got made. Angelina Jolie as the Bride of Frankenstein. That movie also never got made. Dracula, they never announced an actor for that, but that movie never got made. Creature from the Black Lagoon with Scarlett Johansson, that movie never got made. You're starting to sense a theme here. Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, that version of that movie did not get made, but they did try an Invisible Man post-Dark Universe more recently, and that movie did do a little bit better. Phantom of the Opera, they never announced an actor, and that movie never got made. Hunchback of Notre Dame also never got made, never actor cast for that. Channing Tatum was going to be a version of Van Helsing. That movie never got made. Doesn't this remind you of the Channing Tatum Gambit movie that Fox was going to do before they brought him back in Deadpool and Wolverine eventually? Going to make a name for himself in a completely different cinematic universe. Speaking of Deadpool and Wolverine getting super meta with Hugh Jackman, you'll remember, was the original version of Van Helsing in those previous movies in the early 2000s. There was a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie that never got made, no actor was ever cast. Then a Mina Harker Dracula movie, which also never got made, no actor was ever cast. So, like I said, the whole endeavor, Dark Universe, was just a total disaster of epic proportions, and Universal kind of hopes that you forget about that.
What is this, Bernard?
Doesn't look like anything to me.
If they're going to be rebooting now or erasing the events of the third Mummy movie, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, it sounds like their son Alex will still be a full adult, now at least in his early to mid-20s. Both Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are in their mid-50s. Like I said, they're like Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, and Wolverine age, so they're not that old. They actually said that Alex was 21 during Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, but they can totally fudge everybody's ages and just hand wave with that and say that they were closer to their 30s when they actually had him. So in this new movie, Alex can still be in his mid-20s. As of right now, they have not said who's going to be cast to play him, but my assumption is that they're trying to restart the Mummy franchise with their line of Mummy movies, so they would try to do a better version of what Disney did when they bought Star Wars back in 2012 from George Lucas and then did the sequel trilogy with The Force Awakens. The whole idea with the sequel trilogy is that they were trying to pass the baton from the original cast, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Carrie Fisher, to the new younger characters. This will feel very familiar. At the time, everybody expected Luke, Han, and Leia to be like the main characters of The Force Awakens, and they would just slowly roll in the new characters and just pass the baton over the course of that first movie or to the second movie. We all saw what went down with that. It was a total mess. It sounds like Universal is trying to do a better version of that eventually. Basically, the idea of this new movie would be mostly about Brendan Fraser's Rick and Rachel Weisz's Evie facing a new threat, and by the end of the movie, their son Alex would slowly take over the franchise, and they would become more background characters and future sequels beyond that. But remember, because bringing back older actors now is all the rage, Hugh Jackman going to be coming back as Wolverine until he's 90, make all the jokes. Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, still basically the same age, they have at least another 10 to 15 years solid before their ages start to make it harder for them to be super active in big action movies like this. Mark Hamill, for example, was in his 60s during the sequel trilogy. He could have actually been a main character during most of those movies and done just fine. So there's a lot of runway if this Mummy 4 reboot or undeboot movie winds up doing really well, this requel, whatever you want to call it. Generally, it sounds like they want to get this movie out by 2028, 2029, so we'll probably hear more about the casting and more about the story in the next year or so. When we get some actual footage, I will do some more videos for this. Everybody post all your reactions to this Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz news coming back to the franchise. I think it's a great idea, and like most of you fans, I was wondering why they haven't done this sooner. There's going to be a bunch of other big things happening in the next couple of weeks, so I'll try to do videos for everything as they come along. I'll try to keep up with everything, but if you have any special requests for bonus videos, just write them below in the comments. We are currently also in the middle of It Welcome to Derry episodes. Click here for my latest episode for that, and click here.
Okay. The Mummy 1 and 2, they were if you ask me, the best ones with the original actors. As I said, I don't know exactly what went on with them, but I know the guy, got his name, that did the male role in Mummies. He did a story about what happened. As I said previously, there was more to it. So I suggest if you want anything to do regarding him, let me know and I'll look into it and I'll do a video regarding the actors and what happened, what led up to them splitting up. If I can find any details or video that puts all of that in one like video that explains everything, I try and whip up something and let you guys view it or react to it rather. But if you guys are excited about them coming back and doing Mummies 4, basically, comment below, let me know, because I'm really excited for them to come back. When I saw, as I said, that guy come back, forgot his name, but when I saw him come back and he just looked like basically put on a lot of weight, because he said that he went through a lot of depression and stuff like that, and then he came back and I was like, whoa, he's put a lot of weight on. I haven't seen the woman, but when I saw the one and it replaced the woman, I forgot that happened. They replaced her with another lady, and I can't believe that was the reason, because she was pregnant and they couldn't wait. That's, as I said again, goes back to these studios and they thinking that they can just replace people constantly and everything will be fine and they'll do well. No, that's not how things work. Like, that's not how fans are as well. Like, you're doing a big topper movie franchise thing, innit? So if you've got the two original casts, you can't expect. You gotta be, how can I say, really consider swapping someone like a lead role. Like, you gotta be really, really, really like, watch out what you're doing. And I feel like these top studios don't see they must see now how serious that is, like replacing main characters. Marvel did with Black Panther. They realized how serious it was when my man he passed away, T'Challa, and they replaced him with another one just recently. And how long ago was that? Like, obviously regarding stuff that went on, COVID-19 and stuff like that. Disney buying their own platform and their own app, and recently got Hulu now. But yeah, there was a lot that went on that helped that. What they say, time is good, can be on your side. You can use time to be on your side. And I feel like this is good for that Black Panther movie now, because time was on their side to, how can I say, actually give us some time, I guess, for them to now comfortably replace him with a new fresh face. I'll talk about Black Panther. So I feel like them not replacing the Black Panther guy as well in the second movie, that was a good decision, because I feel like if they did, I feel like it wouldn't be right. Not because people must be thinking just how can I say, viewing. You got to think about the actors and interactions with this guy and what just happened. Like, how would they feel? Because they've got acts with this guy, and that is going to go into the movie. And I think people forget about that. They think, oh, they can. Some people, I guess, think they can just slam another person in there, and everything would be okay and back to normal. No, that's not how things go. Especially as I said, with lead roles like Black Panther as well, and the mummies and stuff like that. Like, these are really high, iconic movies. Like, and you can't simply replace them and expect people not to just to forget. You know what I mean? Like, it, yeah, it don't work like that. It's it can really be, well, 9 times out of 10 it to replace a lead act like in any big movie with another person. It's a big risk in my opinion, because depending on how everything goes, it could either go really really bad or really really good, and most of the time it goes really bad. The only way one movie I've seen that is done really really good with replacing a person was Iron Man 1, and they replaced him with Iron Man 2, so the best friend of Iron Man, the black dude. I believe in Iron Man 1 he was what's his name? You guys know who he is, the black dude, light skinned guy. Anyway, they replaced him in the second one, and I I yeah, I think that did well. And he did a good job, if not better. And that kind of went well. I haven't seen that. I'm sure there's other examples out there, but yeah, haven't seen anything that comes close to that. Anyway, man, that's me muttering on, trying to give some explanation behind what I'm saying. Um, I'm really happy to see that that they're doing this and bringing it back. 2028, we'll see. Hopefully, we get more videos that we can put up on the channel regarding Mummies 4, and then bringing back everyone, because even like the uncle. So the uncle, the son, I still feel like they could do a little thing with the son and the. But anyway, I don't know how they're gonna work it out, the ages and stuff. They're gonna do something, but they need to do it again and do it properly. And I feel like they've got a chance to do that. Just don't f it up. That's all I can say, because this would be their last chance. Because I think they effed it up quite a bit. The Tom Cruise one as well. I watched that recently, and it's okay. I give it. It's okay, and that's about it. Like, okay. Like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. That one of those, you know what I mean? But I feel like out of a lot of the movies that Tom Cruise has done, I would say that was in the top 5 of the worst movies he's done. So that's just my personal opinion. On that note, if you'd like to leave any comments below, I'd like to tell me I'm wrong, please do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know who it is. It's me and what's missing. And we're gonna get to 1 million subscribers, so on and so forth. Have a nice day. I'm out. Peace.